Jelly Ellington here. Thank you so much to Sims Foundation. I love the work that they do in the community, providing mental health access to Austin industry for the music and professionals and their families, providing mental health access and addiction recovery services. I think sometimes we underestimate how important that is for musicians. So donate if you can, whether it's $1, whether it's $100, anything helps. And you can donate via text or online. Text SIMS to 44321 or visit simsfoundation.org/donate. Jelly Ellington again, thank you so much for having me. See you guys later.
What's up, everybody? My name is Gina Chavez. I am an Austin musician. I am so excited to be on the live stream today, promoting and supporting the Sims Foundation. Y'all, the Sims Foundation is one of the most important organizations in Austin for music supports. I've been a huge fan and also a recipient of Sims, the work that they do in mental health recovery and addiction recovery services. I've used their counseling services, and as many Austin musicians, being able to go to a counselor that has maybe a scale, a sliding scale, so that it's affordable to go to is something that's huge. And musicians, just like many creative professions, we face a lot of I don't know. It's a hard profession, for people who are musicians. And obviously, music is one of the huge parts that makes Austin Austin. The creatives in this town, have kind of made Austin what it is. And so Sims Foundation serves to make sure that we can keep Austin musicians healthy. So I'm super excited to be here with you. We're going to have some fun conversations with my friend Carlos. We're going to play some music, and so I'm going to start off with a song, and then we'll say a little bit more, and we'll get back to the conversations. But y'all, thank you so much for joining. Once again, I'm Gina Chavez, and actually I was born and raised here in Austin, so I'm a native Austinite, and this place is my heart and soul and my blood, and so I'm so excited to be here with y'all today. All right. Let's see, we're going to start it off with, what are we going to start it off with? Well, I don't know, Gina. I'll talk to myself here. How about that? All right. I'm going to start it off with a song. This was recently released. It's called She Persisted. And y'all, this song's for my ladies. We'll kick it up a little with a little bit of a beat. Go into it. Ladies, I know you know what it's like to be silenced. I know you know what it's like to make you to have to be small in a room. And this song is everything but those things. My hands are tied, your hands are too. Now you don't know where to go, don't know what to do. They're feeding lies, stopping the truth. Now you don't know where to go, don't know what to do. Can't realize we've been here before. History right, y'all. Thank you so much. Y'all, I want to let you know that there are 3 ways to donate to the Sims Foundation tonight. The first one is probably the easiest. If you would text SIMS, that's SIMS, to the number 44321. It's like a countdown. Come on, 44321. So text SIMS to 44321. That is a great way to donate. Another one is you can do through PayPal. If you do the email, you can PayPal to info@simsfoundation.org. And then number 3 is you can go to the website and you can go to simsfoundation.org/donate. So y'all, there's 3 easy ways for you to donate tonight. Honestly, May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and so that's why the Sims Foundation has been bringing on some incredible artists all month. I like to think that, you know, if you tuned in for Jason Mraz last night, you know, that he opened for me. So if you talk to him again, maybe, you know, thank Jason for opening for me. That's really sweet. But, and actually I was talking to Carlos last night that Jason was definitely one of the people that inspired me as a songwriter when I was at the University of Texas at Austin. He was one of the first artists I saw, and before he was big, so that was a pretty big deal. So anyway, so just a shout out to all the amazing artists who have been on in support of Sims, and for the behind the work scenes that, the work behind the scenes that has gone to make this happen. So I'm gonna play another song for you, and then we'll bring on Carlos and we'll have some conversations and play some more music. So I'm gonna sing another new song. All right, this one, I have a new EP that just came out on Wednesday. I'm very excited about it. It's all in Spanish. I myself was not a native Spanish speaker, and so if you don't understand the words and you're frustrated by that, I understand. Trying to write songs in Spanish is really tough for me, but anyway, I do have translations out there in the Ethernet. I mean the internet, and so anyway, this song is called Caigo Así, and you know, it's kind of that idea that when you find, you know, the person that you're in love with, and then, you know, if things go wrong, right, which obviously can happen in a relationship, or you're feeling disconnected, this is that, you know, when you feel like you're just falling because a relationship in your life is not right, or maybe you have an addiction, or, you know, whatever those things are. So this goes out to all my people who know what it's like to struggle, which I think is probably all of us. That is a very human thing. So, Caigo. Cuando no te tengo, pienso en ti. Amanezco enferma, no sentirte aquí, junto a mi lado, cerca de mí, como el mar sin ver la luna, caigo así. Siento tu sonrisa en mi corazón. En tu posición, a veces soy ciega y no te veo a ti, como el mar sin ver la luna, caigo así. Probar tus labios, me sumerjo en ti. Despistada sobre el mar anguil, la soledad me envuelve, el sol no quiere salir, tú me haces falta, ¿qué te puedo decir? Como la brújula right. Let's see. So let's get our friend Carlos on here.
I'm here. What's going on?
Man, it's you know, it's been a tough week, right? It's been great on some levels. Have some record. It's been a tough week, I think, for the world.
Yeah, it's been it's like a movie. I just I had an article that I just found that was it said there was a pack of monkeys in India that attacked somebody like at a lab that they'd just taken blood from some COVID patients, and some monkeys took the blood and ran off with it. And I'm just like, all right, we're definitely in a movie. Someone needs to send Tom Cruise to 2016 to like handle all this stuff. Bruce Willis, Tom Cruise, something like that.
Yeah.
You sound amazing. I'm like, you were saying that I'm like a huge fan of all the Spanish songs anyway, so I'm like not worried that you're, I love it.
Well, thank you. And for those who don't know, Carlos has been living and breathing this month of May festival with Sims and helping people like myself get my sound set up. So I'm good. It's actually thanks to you.
Yeah, it's been a journey. If you guys are just tuning in, we're here for the Sims Foundation. I think Gina kind of summed it all up earlier, but the Sims Foundation provides mental health and addiction recovery services for musicians, music industry professionals. So sound guys, crew, booking agents, anybody in the music industry and their families can get mental health services, therapy, counseling. I think I've been a Sims client for like 12 years. I've used couples counseling, individual therapy, band mediation. Like sometimes I was doing all three of those in 1 week, like every week. So I was like, but I mean, and Bob Schneider, he was on yesterday with Jason Mraz, and he was saying that without...
Yeah.
What's that?
You opened for me.
Yeah, your openers? He said without Sims, he said he didn't care enough about himself back a while back to like pay $100 or $150 to go see a therapist. And with Sims' help, it was like $10. And he's like, okay, well, I'm going to go. And he said it definitely had an impact on his life, a positive impact, which is really great.
Yeah, well, and actually, I think for me, I started using Sim services when I was coming out, and so that was a whole, being able to, just being able to afford services is huge. But I think the biggest barrier is just being open to it. And so obviously the money can be a reason that you say, oh,
right.
It's a good excuse, right? It's a good excuse not to have to go deal with your stuff because you're like, oh, I can afford it, or I've got to put food on the table or whatever, which are very valid concerns. And so I think that's exactly what Sims does. Is it takes that excuse away from us. It says, actually, it's only like $10 or $20, and if your health isn't worth that, then But I know, and then my wife and I would say that's probably been the biggest part is we used couples counseling as well. And so my wife, she's incredible for one. It's her birthday tomorrow, by the way. It's one of those things where I think for me, I'm in the limelight. I'm the one that's like, got my name on a sign and people come to see. And she doesn't, like, that doesn't bother her. You know what I mean? She wants to be a behind the scenes kind of person, but it is hard because, I think people like myself, but especially just who I am. I'm not a very needy person in and of myself, but my career is very needy. I think anyone who is the front person or just in music at all, but especially if you're the front person of a band, it's all about you all the time. Your face is on everything. Your name is on everything. It's, you kind of have to promote yourself in order to get anywhere. And so it can be very damaging to a relationship that always feels like it's second best,
Right.
So I think that's where Sims has really come in for us. And then she's also my manager. She was my manager before I found my manager, Louie, but that has only happened in the past like 8 months. So she's literally been my manager for, 12 years.
Yeah, I've met your wife a couple of times, and every time she's like, "Yeah, Gina's got this. Yep, got it." Yeah, like she's on it, like 100%. She's really cool.
So, but it takes a lot for somebody to be able to, like, it's great that I have a partner that's really supportive, but that doesn't mean we don't still have problems, and it also means we're working together, which is another dynamic very tough.
Right.
So anyway, that's all to say that, like, Sims has been huge for us to be able to deal with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so we're trying to raise money, and Gina is giving up her Friday evening to play for you guys. We don't have any donations yet, so
We need to get some donations.
I know.
We're gonna just lay the gauntlet down right now. So y'all don't make me look bad, okay? Even if you don't like the music, I don't care.
I seriously doubt that.
So please, y'all get out your. I was gonna say get out your checkbook, so we don't really do that anymore.
Yeah, we're not doing that.
Through the internet. I keep saying Ethernet. Just put it on a bird, and so
There's
text Sims to 44321. It's just a countdown, y'all. It's super easy. So Sims to 44321, or you can PayPal to info@simsfoundation.org, or you can head to the Sims website, simsfoundation.org/donate.
Look at you. You got it down. The whole month I'm saying that literally like 15 times every show. And I'm like, yay, she's saying it. That's awesome.
Come on, y'all. Let's get those.
I know. Well, thank you so much. Let's get to some more music.
Yeah, want some more music?
I would love it.
Do it. Wondering to myself what I want to play. You know what? Let's play an oldie but a goodie here. All right. So I've definitely been missing my band, being in the quarantines that we are in as well. So shout out to my bandmates. And I will say that, obviously this time, we're here because this is Mental Health Awareness Month, but also this is, I think, Mental Health Awareness Month we're in such need of this right now. We're in such need of the services that Sims provides. I know even a couple weeks into quarantine, I was talking to my bandmates and just missing playing, missing being out, missing travel and being able to connect with people. I know for me, I did 21 days of live streaming kind of right off the bat. And I was exhausted, and I think a big part of that is because when we do these live streams, we're essentially performing to our own face. And I'm somebody who really feeds off of an audience. And so not to have an audience and have interaction is draining, whereas I might be tired before I get on stage and in front of a live audience. And afterwards, I'm just like, yeah, it's so fun because the energy that the crowd gives you. And so I think right now we need that energy to, be in the comments, be in the donations. There are still ways we can interact, but it's also really tough for musicians right now because we don't have your beautiful faces and your energy in front of us right now. So I'm just going to imagine to myself that you're all going to shake your hips a little bit to this one. I need to know you're closer than 2,000 miles, or the tips of my fingers miss the curve of your smile. Those dimples make me mad inside, but you my love to find. I'm walking the block in a stupor of rage, and I got more to give than what I've given today. I need someone to steal my mind, but you my love to find. You my heart to find. Me quiero, si tú estás aquí, extraño, engaño, para aguantar un without your embrace around me. I'm frozen devout, waiting on bended knee. Your name is strong. I'm not, but you are not to find. You are to find. Te quiero, me quiero. Si tú no estás aquí, extraño, me engaño. Para aguantar un día más, te lloro, te espero. Miles de días desgástame. Tú tienes mi ser, tú tienes mi vida, tú tienes mi alma, amor mío, te quiero, me pierdo, si tú no estás aquí, extraño, engaño, para aguantar un día más, te lloro, te espero, miles de días desgastan mi amor. Te quiero, te pierdo, si tú no estás aquí, extraño, engaño, para aguantar un día más, te adoro, te espero, miles de días desgástame. All right, y'all. So I see some of my number one fans are donating right now to Sim. So I gotta give a big shout out to Jax. Hey, thank you so much, Jax. I appreciate you. Nancy Decker, thank you so much. Y'all are so awesome. They've been with me on like all the live streams that I've been doing. Good friends. I would actually consider them more fans than friends. So thank y'all so much. My clothes are coming off here. So hot in here. I love it. Y'all can't see Carlos, but I can. He's just like laughing at me the entire time. All right, am I playing more music? Is that what's happening? He's like, yeah, just keep going. Has anybody else like not had a haircut in like 4 months? Because if you see the album cover, my album cover, I have this like super rad haircut, and now like this is like 4 or 5 months of not having a haircut. So I feel you, floppy-haired people. Carlos doesn't even have any hair. We're all just gonna go that route and join the Britney Spears. Is that who inspired you, Carlos? Britney Spears. I love it because you're not on right now, so you can't even talk. I swear I'm talking to a person. I'm not just talking. Anyway, whatever. Okay, let's see here. You know what? All right, I'm gonna play another new song off the record here. All right, y'all, so this song is called Ella. So I played that song She Persisted earlier. Ella is kind of the, I don't know, the more poignant cousin song to She Persisted. Y'all, I'm so proud of this song. I got to record it in New York with Linda Briseño and Fernando Lodeiro in Brooklyn before the pandemic. It was in January. So, but y'all, this is a song that, gosh, in communities where, where women, where transgender people, obviously what's happening in our world right now, but this specifically for women who are almost hunted. People are, especially in a lot of Latin American countries, women are really suffering, and especially right now during the pandemic, all over the world, there are so many more calls for domestic violence, abuse, and so this song I'm really dedicating to people in domestic violence abuse situations, and the idea that we're called to stay home in a safe place, and for some people, for many people, home is not safe. So that's kind of what this song is about. Sus manos están atadas, su voz no puede más, no sabe a dónde ir, ni qué hacer. Su cuerpo no para de bailar al ritmo de esta realidad. No sabe a dónde ir ni qué hacer. Te quitaron las ganas de hablar, el silencio tratan de comprar, a la fuerza ellos quieren callar. Se rindió, nunca se rindió, nunca se rindió. Toda la historia callando una verdad, hemos tenido el poder, siempre supimos a dónde ir. Tenemos tiempo que perder, fueron muchas las que lucharon ayer, por las que están y las que vendrán. No nos rendimos, ella persistió, no nos rendimos, nunca se rindió, no nos rendimos, ella persistió, no nos rendimos, nunca se rindió, no nos rendimos, ella persistió.
Amazing.
No, I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, it's really hot in my studio, and I'm just like, by the end of these live streams, I'm just like, I know.
We were talking about earlier, you and I, before we went live, we were talking about being Latinos, and the kind of like pride and stuff that, you're raised to be tough and like not go against your family and you're like I was telling you, like I was the first musician in my family, and we had some doctors and lawyers, and my grandmother who raised me was like, they were the super successful ones, which is understandable from what they grew up in, and for me as as being Latino and asking for help, it, like you said earlier, it was really hard to swallow your pride and make that initial step to ask for help from a therapist, especially like there was this thing in my head. It was like therapy is for the crazy people. Like I could just hear it at, like my grandmother saying that in my head, probably. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know it's actually been really interesting because, you know, I often talk about this where it's like I'm half Mexican, half Swiss German by raíces, right? But my upbringing I would describe as much more of an Anglo upbringing. I have light skin. I was raised by parents who didn't speak to me in Spanish. My parents really taught me the value of travel and diversity and understanding different cultures. They had this wild and crazy time before they had kids where they traveled in Europe for a year and a half in a VW bus in the 70s, total hippies. But I grew up on these wild stories of them like traveling for a year and a half and meeting people from all over the world. And so I think in a lot of ways, like I very much started to understand at a young age, you know, that there was this whole big world out there, even though I'd never left Austin, and like other ideas and other languages. And so I think I grew up with kind of an innate sense of I don't know, a value in that. And at the same time, like I didn't grow up with my specific Latino culture. And so for me, it's interesting because my wife she's Latina, and she's from a really small town. And I think she probably has a much similar experience to yours, where there's very much that idea that, you know, you don't talk about stuff, for one, like hard stuff, right? And you also don't talk about it, especially if it's related to, you know, any kind of, like, you don't get the medications you need because clearly, like, we can just pray it away, or we can, you know, get the egg, or like, you know what I mean? And
Oh,
I mean, but there's very much this idea that it's like, oh, we can fix it. It's fine, you know. And then, you know, there's people that we know, people in our families, that you're just like, no, you can't fix it. Like we need professional help. And so without the ability to even talk about it, it's just such a huge barrier, you know. So yeah. And then I think for me, again, like I had a really great upbringing, and so I think my barrier was almost like, well, like I feel like I should be fine, right? It's like there's nothing I can point to in my past that like makes it feel like, oh, I need to go to counseling because I had, you know, a traumatic event or multiple things or whatever. And so there's a part of me that's like, yeah, but I should be fine. I should be able to handle it. I don't need to take away services from somebody else who could be getting that, you know. And so that was my barrier, was kind of just like, I didn't feel like a family pressure, but it was more just kind of like I should it on myself.
right.
You know, and then I think for me, the big thing was, you know, coming out, you know, when I'm a cradle Catholic. I grew up here in Austin. I love my Catholic faith. You know, that was such a huge part of my life. Even into college, I was actually part of my high school youth group. And so when I figured out I was a lesbian at 24, it completely destroyed my world. You know, yeah.
Wow.
You know, that was like my whole, it's like I was completely in the, I don't know, it's like drinking the Kool-Aid kind of thing. And I say that at the same time, I'm still Catholic. Like, you know, I love my Catholic faith, and my wife and I go to Mass. But it's also hard to be part of a community that doesn't completely accept you for who you are, you know. So there's those pieces too. And then you have to say like, okay, well, how do things change if we don't stay and fight? But then there's also a time where you have to say, but is it safe for me to stay? You know, so I don't know, it's a lot of things.
It's a lot.
A lot of things. I heard that recently on a talk. I actually got to co-write the theme music for Brene Brown's podcast. Are you familiar with Brene Brown's work?
No.
Well, once you have some time on your hands after this is all over, you should go check out her. She has a TED Talk and a Netflix show, and she's she's an award-winning author, you know, bestseller. She probably has 6 books on the, you know, New York Times bestseller list. But she's a researcher and a storyteller, and really calls us to vulnerability, which I feel like is a lot of what Sim's work is to ask us to go deep, you know, and that's hard. That's what, you know, and she basically talks about there is no courage without vulnerability. You know, we think it's strong to be like, I'm strong and I'm not going to break down. but that's actually the opposite of vulnerability. And that's the opposite of courage, you know?
Yeah, that's what I was telling you about earlier when I first became a Sims client. It was 12 years ago or something. That I remember doing a PSA for Sims. They did a series of promotions with Latino men, and that was exactly me at the time. It was like I felt for so long that in that culture that you're just, like I was raised by my grandmother, and it's just like you're supposed to, men are supposed to be men, and like you just suck it up and handle it and deal with it. I mean, it's like tough, it's like hard, right? It's like just handle it. And I realized at a certain point that, like you're just saying, like I'd be more of a man if I asked for help. That kind of vulnerability to go ahead and ask for help and realize that you don't have to have all the answers and you don't have to be tough all the time. That you can go ahead and admit, that you need help from somebody, And being a musician too, I mean, it's not, we didn't pick the easiest career path, besides all the other stuff we've been talking about,
Right.
So what's her name? Brene Braun?
Yeah, you should definitely go check her out. And honestly, I encourage everybody to go check out. If you're into Netflix, like that's an easy way is go watch her Netflix special called Call to Courage.
Nice.
Or she has a couple TED Talks that went viral that kind of what launched her into a huge kind of fame. But what's really cool is that even she was a UT student, and even as a UT student, she said she wanted to, like, her goal in life was to start a global conversation around shame and vulnerability. And like, she's literally done that.
That's really cool.
You know what I mean? And it's like, who wants to talk about shame and vulnerability?
Yeah, that's not a big market.
The worst topics ever, but
right.
That's what's so cool is that she's actually been able to do that with her platform, So anyway, I feel like one of the biggest parts that I feel like she provides that I think is so aligns with what Sims, serves to do for the musician community is kind of providing vocabulary. So I feel like the way that she talks about things, and she's a researcher, so all of this is based on data. She basically has over 400,000 pieces of data, about like what it means to be in shame, what it means to be vulnerable, like all of these things, and really like, she pulls those into stories that she then shares, and that it's the language around that I feel like is what's so helpful. So like even one of the things that she talks about is like the story in my head. So like, what, like when you're in conflict with somebody, when you see the 3 dots on your phone and like somebody's typing back.
Oh, right. The little, yeah.
Like you're making up what they're saying, right? You're like, oh my God, they're going to, maybe you're in a relationship with your friend and like something's gone weird and you don't know where you stand. And so the 3 dots, like you're making up all this stuff in your head because we're wired for story. So you're making up all these stories. And so she actually says like sometimes that's helpful in relationship to just say, hey, Carlos, like the story in my head is that, you're looking at me like that through the screen because you think my songs are awful and, you hate me and you're wondering why I'm here. And then you're like, no, that's not at all what I was thinking. Actually, I had bad gas and like, whatever, right?
Right.
So like, but just being able to having some vocabulary to get you through that situation without being like frustrated,
right.
So anyway, so I feel like that's, and actually I saw another donation come through from Wilson Carrillo. And Wilson and I actually had a discussion recently that he is very interested in working, in the mental health field. So Wilson, thank you so much for your donation and for your heart and for the work that you have done with the people in your life and will do in the future. Yeah, I can play some more music or we can talk up some more.
I know, right? We're like, we.
So I can just talk, but then everyone's talking, play music.
I know on our stream yesterday, your openers last night. Yeah, we got a lot of like there was a lot of people watching, and we got a lot of comments like, "Can these guys please stop talking? We can hear some more music." Like, okay.
Yeah.
But
I'm just kidding.
but this is cool for me. You know, I get to catch up with my friends. I was supposed to be on tour with Jason right now, and then all this things happened. So, you know, we did a record together, and you know, I miss my friends. You know, and I get to catch up this way. And we're doing this for a good cause. You know, we're raising money for Sims, but we could still use some more donations. So if you guys out there haven't donated,
Right.
I see a lot of comments on online without donations. So if you guys are commenting, you could easily donate.
And we are giving shout outs, as you can see. But honestly, y'all, we know it's a tough time for everyone. We do appreciate anything. So, you know, it does not have to be a large donation. Anything that you're able to give is really helpful. The work of the Sims Foundation to make sure that the Austin community stays healthy is huge. You know, this city's DNA is made up of the creatives in this town and has been for a really long time. And you know, I really do feel like it's that creativity, that spirit, and the people who fuel that creativity. This is what makes Austin Austin. And so y'all, thank you so much for any donations that you're able to give. They go to a great place. It allows people like myself, like Carlos, and you know, anybody else in the music industry to be able to get the healthcare services that they need for mental health and addiction recovery. Y'all, we haven't really talked much about addiction. I feel very fortunate that I'm not somebody that's struggled with that, but I know people who have. It's not something you just get to turn off. You know, I think it's easy for someone like myself to think, yeah, but just don't do that, you know, and it's literally at some point, you know, when you become addicted, it becomes hardwired into you, and you don't just get to flip it. You don't just get to flip a switch, and it's a decision that you have to make every single day of your life. And that's something that I know for me, the faults that I have, I don't choose the best choice all the time, right? But I'm fortunate that the things that I might choose to do that are not great are not, you know, maybe not drugs or alcohol or something like that. You know, I might just choose to eat some more ice cream or what, you know what I mean? Like, so I just feel like some people struggle with things that society deems not okay, and they need the ability to get help. And so anyway, so all of your donations are going to help Austin musicians tonight and people in the music community. So thank you so much for donating.
I know everybody wants to hear you play some more, but I'm just going to say again that there are 3 ways to donate. Very easy. Text SIMS to 44321. Go to PayPal. You can use the email address info@simsfoundation.org, or you can go straight to the website, simsfoundation.org/donate. Anything would help. If you donated before for another artist, you can still donate to this artist. And the last thing that I'm going to talk about, I know we've taken up so much time talking, is that you sent me your new EP to listen to. What was it, 2 weeks ago?
Or maybe not even, like last week.
Maybe it was last week or whatever. And it was really sweet because you were asking my advice and what I thought about mixes and stuff. And I was thankful that you trusted me so much. But just to let everybody know out there, like, I've worked with pretty much all of the, you know, some of the biggest artists in the world. And one amazing woman from Mexico City, Natalia Lafourcade. And I'm a huge fan of Latin music. I play Latin music, and I basically, my point is, when Gina sent me her single on this new record, I lost my mind. I was absolutely floored. I did a record with Concha Buica, like, I don't know, 6 years ago, and the track, if you guys don't know who she is, she's an artist from Spain, but incredible. And the track reminded me of the track that I do with her. And I was just floored because it's just groundbreaking. Like, there were so many beautiful things I loved about it. The mix was amazing. If everybody who's listening, tell your friends, go listen to this song. What's the name of the single?
Well, so the whole EP is out. So La Que Manda is the EP, and
right.
The title track that I think you're talking about.
Yeah.
The title track is called La Que Manda. And so, and
right.
that's kind of, you know, lady boss or the woman in charge.
Yeah.
It's really, I know we were talking about the Latino community and how it's so easy to feel like, I think every one of us, right, no matter what kind of walk of life we've come from, especially if we are, I think we understand what it means to have to be someone else in a situation, or to change who we are, to quiet who we are, and especially as women. That's really what this album is about. Is this idea that it's like, no, like I'm not going to make myself small for you anymore because it's uncomfortable for you. And the idea that, and I feel like for me, even as I listen to these songs, they're calling me to like a better understanding of myself.
Yeah.
Like I'm saying La Que Manda and looking very like, awesome on the cover and all this kind of stuff. And at the same time, like, I don't feel that way most of the time.
Right.
And so it's calling me out of my own shell and realizing how much I've buried the things that I have to offer. And that's really like, especially this opening track, which I wish I could do for you. It's literally just like vocals and percussion. And so I need to get like a backing track thing or something, because I can't exactly do it for you right now, but
I'll help you with that later.
Yeah. Okay. All right. But I don't know. It's the style of singing. I'm almost like screaming, and it's kind of uncomfortable. It's weird. Like you might listen to it and be like, Gina, this is weird. Like I'm not sure how I feel about it. And that's kind of the point. The point is kind of like, yeah, well, I'm gonna be louder and more in your face and more me, and that may be uncomfortable for you, but I don't care. Like that's kind of the point. And so, so that's mainly to say that, like, ladies, you know what I mean? Like, it is time for us to get out from under what the world has told us we are worth this much, and for us to really own what's inside here. And Carlos, thank you so much for, listening to the track and kind of, lending your expertise, because that helps so much, when we're putting stuff out. So anyway, so I'm feeling very excited. I hope you go listen to the EP La Que Manda. And I wish I could play it for you right now.
We'll do something else sometime and we'll figure it out. But yeah, please play some more music for us.
All right, so I'm gonna play. So this is off my last record, and this one's a dance track. It's so funny. I get on these things and want to be like all chill and moody, and then I'm like, let's just rock out. Okay. Let it out. Cecilia Duran. All right. Thank y'all so much. This is awesome. I need your help to scream, though. We're going to have to scream dance. Y'all ready? Don't just write the letter to you. Ain't got nothing to prove. Let it out, get down, scream, dance. Not to know what to do. Shake the devil off your shoes. Let it out, get down, scream, dance. Come on, let it out. Come on, get down. Come on, let it out, get down, scream, dance. Come on, let it out. Come on, get down. Come on, let it out, get down, dance. Let it out, get down. Let it out, dance. Let it out, get down. Let it out, dance.
Amazing. So good. Oh my God, you are such a badass girl.
Oh my God, I'm so red. I'm like so hot in here.
Well, we got enough time for one more if you want to do one. Again, if you guys are just tuning in, Gina Chavez, Austin, Texas musician, headlining our show today. Our openers were Jason Mraz and Bob Schneider, which was yesterday. Sims Foundation provides mental health and addiction recovery for musicians, music industry professionals, and their families in Central Texas. So please donate if you can. Text SIMS to 44321. Go to PayPal. The email address is info@simsfoundation.org, or you can go straight to the website, simsfoundation.org/donate. Anything that you can give would help tremendously. And a lot of people didn't know that Sims has been around for 25 years. So this is our 25th anniversary for sure. Keep musicians healthy. Mentally, we need it.
Oh my gosh, we all need the mental health right now.
Yeah.
This cover song, I know for this week, I was on a Zoom call. So I have a part-time job, and I work for an organization we just rebranded. We're now named Every Texan, but it's an incredible organization that basically does social justice work through public policy. And we're doing more work in the race equity space. And we literally had a Zoom call today. We're reading a book called White Fragility. And, I think with everything going on, and especially with the death of George Floyd this week, and Ahmaud's death, a month ago, a few weeks ago, I literally was like bawling on a Zoom call today. I don't know, I just feel like it's been a really tough week for everybody, and we all understand the importance of mental health, of spiritual health, and of the ability to do something. And so obviously for our purposes right now, you can really do something for the Austin musician community by donating to Sims. And this is a song, it's a cover song from Silvio Rodriguez. This is an incredible artist out of Cuba. And the song is in Spanish, but it essentially talks about, it's a poetic song. You should definitely go look up the lyrics, and it's called La Masa. But the idea is that kind of, would we have the desire to do good if there were not evil? Would we be called to be brother to each other, to be sister to each other, if there were not reasons to do so? And I think we've experienced those reasons this week. And we do need to be brother and sister to each other in whatever capacity we are able. And obviously that means loving us first. We have to love ourselves, and we have to be able to take care of ourselves. But it also means we don't get to just sit silent for our friends, our family, and our neighbors. So the song is called La Masa. Si no creyera en la locura, en la garganta del sinsabor, no creyera que en el monte se esconde el trigo y la pavura, si no creyera en la balanza, en la razón del equilibrio, si no creyera en el delirio, si no creyera en la esperanza, qué cosa fuera la masa sin cantera, un amasijo hecho de cuerdas y tendones, un revoltijo de carne con madera, un instrumento sin mejores pretensiones que lucecitas montadas para escena. Qué cosa fuera, corazón, qué cosa fuera la masa sin cantera. Si no creyera en lo más duro, si no creyera en lo que creo, si no creyera en el deseo, si no creyera en algo puro, si no creyera en cada herida, si no creyera en lo que ronde, si no creyera en lo que esconde, hacerse hermano de la vida, qué cosa fuera la masa sin cantera, un amasijo hecho de cuerdas y tendones, un revoltijo de carne con madera, un instrumento sin mejores pretensiones que lucecitas montadas para escena. Qué cosa fuera, corazón, qué cosa fuera la masa sin cantera, un testaferro del traidor de los aplausos, un servidor del pasado en copa nueva, un eternizador de dioses del ocaso, un hilo hervido con trapo y lentejuela. Qué cosa fuera, corazón, qué cosa fuera la masa sin cantera. All right, my friends. Thank you all so much for joining us. Once again, my name is Gina Chavez. And also, this is one of my favorite shirts. I'm with the band, and this is actually a Sims Foundation shirt. So I've been sporting my Sims Foundation tonight. I wear this all the time. I think I've had it for like 8 years. But y'all, the Sims Foundation is such a huge part of what makes the Austin community Austin, because we support our musicians. So thank you so much for being with us tonight. Sims Foundation, thank you for what you do, for helping to make our lives not only bearable, but full of hope, full of joy, our ability to find our full selves. Y'all, I know this is a hard time for everybody. I send so much love and safety out to you. And if you feel so inclined, please go check out my new EP. I'm super proud of it, and it's definitely messages that we need to hear right now. So thank you so much. Carlos, thank you for having me on. And thank you all so much for doing the behind-the-scenes work that make this all happen. So Sims Foundation, big love. Thank you.
Donate to Sims or we'll kill this dog. Hey, y'all, this is Gordy Johnson, the Big Sugar, asking you to support through your donations. The Sims Foundation of Central Texas, they take care of musicians in cases of mental health crisis. They take care of our family's mental health, all of our support people, crew people, promoters, agents, and everyone that makes the show go on here in Central Texas for live music. So do what you can. Support Sims Foundation. We sure appreciate you.